Hi everybody, this is UpSizeDown. I'm Dan, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to introduce myself to you, who I am, how I got here, what my life's journey has been, and then also give you a little bit of my at-home life and how the rest of my family thinks about all of this.
He is saying it.
No, everyone's saying it!
I know!
Stage number 5!
My dad has been in residential construction since he was 16, so I've been around it all of my life. In fact, when I was 4, I fell into a foundation hole of a house he was building. I later joined forces with my dad as a general contractor, and we worked together for 10 years. I then started White Willow Design to be a separate design company, and again, designing residential construction. And through that, we got designing a lot of smaller and smaller and smaller spaces. So one of those ways is duplex and triplex conversions, or then getting into 6plexes and 8plexes. And right now we're even working on a 16-unit building. But the idea there is to get the most number of units into one building and designing smaller and smaller and smaller. Now this is an interesting area to be in because anyone can design a big house because you can make a lot of errors with the extra space. But it takes a lot of skill to design something that's smaller. And so I have a whole expert team behind me working on that, and I think we do a really good job at it. But one of the things that led to was thinking, why or how can we put more units into someone's property? And the simplest answer is, let's just build a separate building and put it in the backyard. And that's what's led to True North Tiny Homes. Joanna and I watch a lot of episodes about tiny homes, and we thought we can do this better. And I really think we have. We're bringing the expertise and the passion from all different genres together into one company building tiny homes. So we're bringing the passion from construction, we're bringing the knowledge from architecture, and we're bringing the knowledge from interior design, and we're putting it all together into one tiny home. And this is making an awesome product for people. The reason I really want to keep building this awesome product for people is because of the future and what's going to be happening. There are so many people already that can't afford housing in today's housing market, and it's just going to keep getting worse. The housing crisis is going to get worse. More people are going to be looking for cost-effective homes, and so I really want to help those people move into cost-effective homes. Our whole family is involved in this. My father, my brothers, my sons, my wife. And so we really think it's important to bring your family home. This is going to be the wave of the future of people bringing their family to live in tiny homes in their backyard. And whether that's your son moving out of the basement or it's your mother moving back home to not be put in a nursing home, but somewhere where you're going to take care of them. So bring family home, build a tiny home, enjoy life. So guys, your mom and I decided to start building tiny homes a couple years ago, and we're doing an introduction today to the YouTube channel on who our family is and why we're in construction. So just thought we'd ask you guys a couple questions as well, since you're part of the family. and you guys have been helping out with the tiny home build. So, Colin, I'd like to ask you, what's your favorite memory over the last couple years in helping us out?
My favorite memory is when we were building the Millennial and I corrected you on something and it just felt good to be right.
And what did you have right that I had wrong?
We were putting on the tire frame for not the tire frame.
Piece of plywood around the tires?
Yeah, and then my measurement was correct and yours was not. And you said I was wrong, but I was actually right. So
Good. So the construction gene runs in the family.
yeah.
It just skipped a generation with me?
Yeah.
And Austin, do you see the tiny home movement as being important in the future?
Well, yeah, of course. Once the population gets to a certain point, we're all going to have to start living tiny, so why not start now?
And what point would that be? Would you say we're already in that point where there's so many people around and the population density is too high?
Well, yeah, we may be moving into that now in the next 10 years or so, where, more people are starting to live that way. Right now on YouTube and stuff, so I feel like it'll just be normal in the next few decades.
Well, why don't you just move to the Yukon Territories?
What's in the Yukon Territories?
Snow. Since this pandemic started and you've been home from school and we've been doing shop class, you've been helping out with the builds. Can you tell us kind of what you've been doing?
Well, we've been helping with the windows and the roof. We put in most of the windows on our own, and we're doing siding next week. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you guys enjoying learning that sort of stuff?
Sure, yes.
yeah,
Well, you mentioned to me
It's
before this was
interesting.
important stuff rather than Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, it is better than going to
Hopefully your
class
teacher
for
doesn't
an hour
watch
and a
this.
half.
What brought us personally into living small?
I think a realization that we were living without or outside of our means, and I think our lifestyle had become a lot of work for a little return, and so I think we were forced into moving small because of our finances. However, what came out of that was a realization that living more simply gave us more time. It gave us a way to manage our finances better. And so that was kind of the birth of our idea to live more simply.
Our simplification epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
I like to tell people that we were spending all of our spare time and money fixing up our houses and not having any fun. So we sold our houses and we started renting and we bought a small sailboat, and we can now spend a lot of our time being fun. What can you tell us about the sign that we can all see in the background here that says Sailor's Cove and what we've been doing with that?
So we moved into a little house, and in the summers we like to spend our time on our sailboat, Epiphany, and we rent this place out on Airbnb while we're on our boat. We just get a lot of fun. We make a little bit of extra money to cover our costs, and yeah.
I like that. The other thing that we tried to do last summer, actually we succeeded at doing as well, is while we were on the boat, we also do excursions out on the water on our sailboat. So we're both making money from Airbnb on the house, but also while we're out on the water in our sailboat. So that was a lot of fun.
What was surprising about that actually, because we kind of came about that because we lived in a small place and then we wanted to be on the sailboat. But we've met a lot of really cool people while doing the Airbnb excursions, and so I just think we would have never done that if we had just been living our life how it was. And so, I mean, it just has furthered our desire to be able to travel and just continue living how we are.
Cool.
What would you do if you had $1 billion?
That's a good question, because if you have $1 billion, obviously you have spare money to spend, and tiny living is a lot easier and better for you if you're new to the whole stuff. But if you have that much money and you want to buy things, but you don't have anywhere to put those things because you have so much money, not all of us have a lot of money though. Mm-hmm. So we go into tiny living because not only then we save money, but we kind of can make money as well.
So what we like to say is we downsize your house to upsize your lifestyle. So if you're living small, you have extra money from your paycheck to pay for experiences.
Guess what? If I had $1 billion and I lived huge, I would still have extra money. But that's the if question. That's the if question.
Because the mentality is if I have money, then I'm going to spend it. But I think
but you also
buying things aren't necessarily going to make you happy.
Right. What makes you truly happy?
A woman.
Well, that's true, or she can make you really mad.
That's true too.
Dad,
mine makes me really happy. Your experiences that make you happy. So you can buy experiences. Yeah, well, that's my sort of experience. You guys have stipulated that maybe that's.
I know what I do.
Do something else.
What's that?
If I was a billionaire, if I had $1 billion, I wouldn't just invest that money, but I would buy an identical pirate ship to Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship and sail the ocean with a crew.
I like that. If I had $1 million.
$1 billion.
Why are you singing? Why are you singing?
I was going to do the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song, but I couldn't think
that
of
would
it.
have been funny. Okay, anyway.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today as we got an introduction to our family and how we work with tiny homes. Remember,
We're
the
Ott
family.
And this is UpSizeDown,
where we turn housing on its head.
Join us next Friday for another episode. So with the recent pandemic and you guys can't go to school, we've been bringing you guys to shop class. And what kind of things have you guys been doing?
Don't do that!
That's hilarious!
You're like that!
No, you're not. No, you're like this.
No one does that!
We've been taking you guys to shelf class.
Lean forward. Yeah, don't do that. I have to stop you because I'm
Okay,
the worst guy
fine.
to
All
laugh
right,
at.
thank you for the constructive criticism. We'll keep going.
Anyway,
Okay.
that's it was straight up.
Now it's slower. Do something with it. All right, that's perfect. Thanks for joining us today as we got an introduction to our family and how we work with tiny homes. Remember,
We're
the Ott family.
And this is what are you doing? I thought you
Everyone
were
said
saying
it. Everyone said it, and also we're like, where? And I was like, where?
No.
I just look at you and you're like,
It's not that hard. Remember,
we're the odd
we're the
I
odd
thought
family.
we agreed that you were gonna say it.
No one agreed that except you in your head.
Everyone said it, and I was like, a family.
no, I was gonna say upside down.